So did you bring the sheep with you for this week's show?
No. We've had enough of your bad jokes last week.
Yeah, that's funny. Amy said if I did one more, she was going to lambaste me. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Prinz, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. We're in yet another hotel after checking out of another place this morning. So the road trip continues.
You look warmer this week.
Yes, we saw the sun yesterday, which was exciting. So yes, it's getting a little bit better.
Last week was a rough week for you recording.
It wasn't as rough for me as everybody listening.
I talk about taking one for the team. That was below 40 degrees in a car outside wow. That's.
Yeah. When I get back to Studio One or Studio A and everything is going to be all set up, it's going to be great. But you know what? We recorded, we released, we did find, the show must go on.
Oh,
I'm not sure why, but it must.
Oh, so should we jump into feedback this week?
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
You want to go first?
The only one I had was speaking of last week's show, we did listen to it in the car, and Lisa's like, that doesn't sound good. And I said, you mean all the Zoom stuff? And she said, oh yeah, that too. So anyway, no, just kidding. Just that's the feedback I had. Although I did say, listening to it, it was like listening to half of the meetings I was in for the first half of the pandemic.
Wah, wah, wah. I could only clean up so much in post. Amy said, I did not say I sounded like the Kardashians.
Oh, she
absolutely did. So, yeah.
So what I would suggest to you is that should probably be that should be the last time you bring this up on follow-up on here, because I don't think it's going to be the last time there's going to be follow-up on that topic in your house.
Doug from the Educated Idiots actually commented on that specifically. Is everything content? Is nothing sacred? The answer is yes and no. Content reigns supreme. I'm also supposed to tell you that the crazy Russell Brand will return. Lisa just needs to be patient. Like high-waisted jeans and capital punishment, these things come in waves. So
yeah. The scary thing is how will we know?
You need to stay on Instagram, because that's where all the trends happen.
One other bit of follow-up is because we're not in the full studio, I don't get to hear any sound effects that you put in until I listen back.
Yes.
Yeah, and the cricket sounds. Nice surprise.
You're welcome. Oh, that was everything. I think that was everything that I had in feedback. I had one correction.
Okay.
At the end of the show, I said, see you next week.
Well, okay. Now, this is an audio podcast. I'm
Yes.
assuming that's the correction. However,
yes,
you were talking to me via video.
So I will see you next week. I won't actually see the listeners, nor will they see us, but sure.
So either the correction is either you won't see them or you made an editing error by leaving that in. I mean,
Also, yes.
one of the others. Yeah. Okay.
I think I probably could have said hear us next week, and that would have been okay. I don't know.
Here, yeah, because you said see you next week. You can't say hear you next week because that, while taking care of the audio thing, doesn't work the way that podcast direction works. Hear you next week.
Only if they call 515 also CPA will
That's
we
true.
hear them next week.
Yes.
So, and I doubt that they can get through. It is a very, very busy time right now.
So busy. Absolutely very busy right now.
Yeah.
Just keep calling.
Yep, slammed. We're slammed at also CPA. Let's see, follow up. You said in reference to your mask update for Apple,
Yes.
and it works when it doesn't work. Sometimes it works. Most of the time
Yes.
it doesn't. When I was listening back, do you remember the line from Anchorman about Sex Panther cologne?
I don't.
60% of the time it works every time. Paul Rudd and Anchorman. And I'm like, oh, that sounds about like the mask unlock thing. 60% of the time it works every time.
Now I know why Apple didn't use it, because they couldn't get the clearance from Anchorman because they don't have enough money to pay for that.
Oh, so there was, yeah. So I had that. Susan's Zazzle mug was delivered yesterday as her congratulations. I could have, this was a piece of follow-up as I was looking into whether or not it had arrived. It popped up a note for me that you waited 2 weeks for this thing to happen. If you had wanted it produced and shipped overnight, I could have paid an extra $54.
Okay.
Just so that you know that that's available. If you have an urgent need for a Talking to Todd mug, there is a $54 option.
I'm sitting here thinking, does anybody pay that? And then I realized who pays that. We're going to start with men around anniversaries, Mother's Day, birthdays. I need this here. Well, it's 54. I don't care. Take my money. Take my money. Just expedite. They're like, yes, that's where we make all the money.
Well, I think I spent $20 on Zazzle Black at when we started doing this, which gets expedited shipping, but not overnight or anything like that. But the shipping is at a highly reduced rate for Zazzle Black, and I've saved a couple $100 in shipping on Zazzle Black, which
also sounds like the next person who's going to do a rap thing with Billy Ray Cyrus. Zazzle Black and Billy Ray Cyrus are gonna anyway.
It's Snoop Dogg. It's faux Zazzle.
Zazzle.
Yeah. I guess that was a little plug there for Zazzle. This is a piece of follow-up. Last week I plugged to Sell Your Mac, and Amy's listening, and she's like, you just rolled right into a commercial there, didn't you? Apparently I did. Yeah.
It was pretty good. How much are they paying us for that?
They paid me about $50 for my old iMac.
So technically we could get them to sponsor us weekly if we just had Macs that we could ship them weekly to get a check.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yep. How about you? Anything to clean up or follow up?
Just to follow up, I don't know, about a year ago when we were talking about streaming services, I talked about that there was a show that you wanted to watch, maybe, or something that was going to be on IMDb TV. And we were like, what the hell is that?
Oh, yeah.
And that's like, yeah. Well, in case anybody is going back and looking for IMDb TV, you can stop looking for it. For the third time in 3 years, I believe, it has now been renamed. It is now Amazon FreeVee. FreeVee. Amazon FreeVee. So there you go. That's where you're going to find all of your shows on Amazon FreeVee. Amazon, brilliant marketers. And you're thinking, how is that not the cold open? Here's the thing. Nobody knew what IMDb TV was. It's their free service. So now it's Amazon's free TV. They just got rid of the T. So it's their FreeVee service. That doesn't help, does it?
No, it doesn't really help.
No.
No. Additional explanation doesn't make it any clearer.
Noted.
Holy cow. We have a ton of idiots in the list this week.
Yes, we do.
New
see.
baseball season. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You started off. New baseball season. Yep.
Well, it's a new baseball season, if you want to start with that, but the NBA playoffs are, we're in the middle of the NBA playoffs. So really either way we could go. No?
I believe technically we're in the middle. Oh, wait, the playoffs haven't started yet. The postseason has.
That's an important, that's a distinction without a difference is what that is. But okay.
I read an article that was very clear about that. And you know what? If you want to change that, you're going to have to get the express written consent of the NBA commissioner, because you can't just do that. Anything else you want to add to the NBA as long as we're there?
So during the play-in game, Clippers versus Timberwolves, did you see this? A woman attempted to glue herself to the court.
Okay. All right. I did not hear
that. She is an animal rights protester, and she was protesting the treatment, let me make sure that I get this right, of chickens in the facilities owned by the Clippers ownership. Excuse me, Direct Action, maybe I shouldn't even reference them. This group claimed responsibility for the protest, saying that it was in response to an alleged animal rights issue at Timberwolves owner Glenn Taylor's egg farm. So not Clippers ownership. Let's make sure that would immediate correction there, because that would be bad.
And also real-time correction, not Taylor Farms of Jesse's Taylor Farms. Oh, this is Glenn Taylor egg farm. Totally different. Different wing
of the Taylor family.
Yes. There's the billionaire wing, and then there's the Jesse wing. Those are different wings.
It's a chicken farm. They could be chicken wings. Do they have buffalo sauce on them?
Oh, jeez, that's just
no. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Anywho, the incident took place with 3:34 remaining in the second quarter, and there was lots of. I watched the video, and the announcers didn't know what was going on. The players didn't know what was going on. They first thought maybe somebody was hurt or had slipped, fallen. She apparently tried to glue her wrists to the floor and refused to remove her wrists from the floor so that they could stay glued. And then they removed her from the arena and cleaned up the floor. But there was a several minute delay during that period.
Here's her big problem, though. I think she just needs to understand this, right? So she was going to, like, I hear glue yourself to the floor to stop the game. Nobody in the NBA plays defense. That's not allowed. You can't do anything like that. There's no defense. Let's see. Baseball season did start.
Yes.
The Reds president, Phil Castellini, appeared on a radio show. He is he's the president and COO of the Cincinnati Reds. And I don't know if you know, the Cincinnati Reds, since the current ownership has bought them, they haven't had a great run at it. They've only made the playoffs 4 times in 15 years. They've only finished in the last 15 years. They've only finished with a winning record 5 times under current ownership. Oh, and by the way, interesting. Well, I'll get to the other interesting part. I guess he was on a radio show and people were complaining that the ownership hasn't really done a lot. It's not been that great. Here's the president's quote, well, what are you going to do? Let's start there. I mean, sell the team to who? That's the other thing. You want to have this debate? You want to look at what you do with this team to have it be more profitable, make more money, and compete in the current economic system? Pick it up and move it someplace else. And so be careful what you ask for. I think we're doing the best we can do with the resources we have. Yeah. Oh, by the way, also, side note, you're thinking, how did this guy get to be the president of a team that's lost 10 out of 15 years and is telling the fans, what are you going to do? Maybe we should just take it up and just move this thing. Side note, he is the son of the owner.
Oh,
so there you go. He's who I'm sure he earned his spot as president and COO of the baseball team. Anyway, so the son of the owner basically said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what? We own it. We own it. The only other thing that's going to happen is we're going to move it. So stop your whining and enjoy baseball while you can. He didn't say that exactly, but that was the point. The following day, he apologized. I'm not sure for what.
Yet, you know, all things considered, he sounds less Nazi than Marge Schott.
I was going to say, on the list of Reds owners, they're doing pretty well.
Yes, this is definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
Over the last, on a scale of 0 to 100 Nazi, he's, you know, probably less.
Yeah. Let's see. Couple of other quick notes. Again, idiots, and this is all coming out of sports. Toto Wolff, who was the team principal for the Mercedes F1 team. I know you guys are now big F1 fans. At the end of last season, the last race came down to the race director had to make a call about something, and it cost a driver the world championship, and Toto was incredibly upset. And Toto was so upset that he and the driver refused to show up to the FIA awards banquet where the other driver got his award. They just skipped it. Toto at one point basically threatened to pull the Mercedes team out of Formula One if changes weren't made, because he didn't think that this was a fair competition anymore. And the 7-time world champion driver didn't say that he was coming back to drive until 2 weeks before the season. Again, sources saying that he wanted to see changes before he decided to come back. Well, the FIA, the biggest team, the most popular driver, they fired the race director who made that call after basically Mercedes threatened him over and over and over again. New race director. Congratulations, you got what you want. This week, Toto, being the big man that he is, was asked about the former race director. And instead of taking the opportunity to say, you know what happened in the past happened in the past, he's not here anymore. You know, instead of basically moving on, he ripped into him, basically saying, I had lunch with him and I told him he doesn't take feedback well. He should be more like Lewis Hamilton. Lewis takes feedback, and this guy, he doesn't listen to anybody. That was his biggest problem. And I'm thinking, you won. He did his job, and you threatened a multi-billion-dollar corporation to get him fired. And you did. Once you got him fired, stop throwing punches. He's no longer there. He can't even defend himself. And yet, you're still being the bigger man here by going after a guy that you got fired. Oh my, anyway, idiot. Also,
the new race director kind of had a week of his own as well. What with the new underwear regulations?
Yeah, I did not. I missed all of that because once again, because I pay to watch all the sports, but when I'm in another country, I can't watch any of the sports. So I missed all of that.
There was apparently it wasn't a new regulation, but they decided they wanted to actually enforce the regulations that if you were wearing, check me here, if you were wearing underwear, it had to be fireproof and you had to wear underwear.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yes. Yes. You're generally, when you get into the race car, you are generally only allowed everything you wear has to be fireproof. That's kind of a rule, because what you don't want, if something's cotton, it'll burn bad. If it's synthetic and you're in a fire, it will melt to your skin.
Right.
So that's actually a pretty good rule. I'm going to go with, that's a good rule.
But some of the drivers, I guess I can only infer because they won't really comment on it, were opting to not wear any, as opposed to having to wear the fire. I don't know. Their pants were on fire. Something. There's a pants on fire joke here, but I can't get there quick enough, and we only have 40 minutes, so I won't waste time. Some of the drivers were going commando in their cars.
Okay.
Apparently, is the inference that I made based on the story and the comments, or the lack of willingness to comment. This is the real sticking point, is every ounce in an F1 car counts. And if you can shave, 3 or 4 ounces by not wearing underwear, apparently they're willing to do that.
Option 2, drive faster.
Also, yes, that would be another option. Yep.
Yeah. The guy who got hired as race director has got to be thinking, I did not take on this job to police underwear. Let's see, last one here real quick. This is a big weekend here in England. This is the semifinal of the FA Cup, which is Football Association. So 72 teams on the three different tiers of English football play each other, and so you can get underdogs beating the big teams and all of that. Anyway, semifinals of this weekend. In one of the games, Liverpool is playing Manchester City, two of the best teams in the world. They're also now they're also in the semifinals of the UEFA Champions League. Literally, this is two of the best teams in the world. This is also a holiday weekend with Easter coming. It's a bank holiday, so Monday is a day off. And for reasons that are, I guess, because it's a holiday, the Network Rail, the people that run the rail lines in England, are doing major rail service, so you cannot easily get from the north of England to the south of England this weekend. Now, Liverpool and Manchester are in the north. The game is to be played at Wembley Stadium, 200 miles away from Liverpool and Manchester. Liverpool and Manchester are 40 miles apart. So the supporters need to travel each 200 miles one way to go watch this match. And there's no rail service. So both teams said, we're only 40 miles apart, and we each have a home stadium. But if you don't want to play at our home stadium, there is also a Premier League stadium literally less than a half a mile from Liverpool Stadium, Everton Stadium. You can see them from each other. And in Manchester, they have a 70,000 seat stadium, Old Trafford, where Man United plays. You could play in any of these. And the FA said, no. Again, answer to all your questions, money.
Sure.
But they did feel bad for the supporters. So they hired, so the FA has hired 100 buses to help transport fans to London for this match. Wembley seats 80,000 for a football match. You figure a coach 50 seats, maybe.
If it's the big ones, 55. Yes.
55.
If it's the European double-decker, British double-decker, maybe you get 100.
Nope. It's not those.
It's not those. It's regular coaches. It's a 55 passenger coach. You bet.
All right, 55 times 100.
I can do that math. Yeah.
Hey, Bob, I think we're about 75,000 fans short.
Oop.
And here's the funny thing. We're actually we're on the outskirts of Manchester right now. And as we were driving down on the motorway, we passed a bus. It's the Glasgow to Edinburgh shuttle. It's a coach, and it says 15 minutes, every 15 minutes, 24 hours. And we're like, well, that bus is lost. It literally is 100 miles where it's a couple hundred miles from where it's supposed to be. And I'm thinking, why is it down? Oh, they rented one of those from Scotland. So anyway, there you go. Idiots. Just, I don't know. Train's closed. Yeah. Should we play with where the stadium? No.
Oh.
We're trying to be responsible citizens. So we're just going to have everybody jump in cars. All right. Let's see where we at here. Travel stories.
Yeah.
You've got one.
I went to the Ozarks over the weekend on a golf trip, drove in Thursday night. Friday, we played one of the courses at the resort. The temperature never broke 40. The wind,
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Fahrenheit. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, it's a thing. I keep telling people wrong numbers here. Yeah.
Yeah. Good note. It was with the wind chill 28, 29 degrees, and we played 18 holes in gloves and stocking hats. The following 2 days were much better. It was low 60s and then mid 70s on Sunday for the final round. Lodge of the Four Seasons. It's still stuck in winter. I don't know. Maybe it's just still stuck in 1972. I'm sure this was a fantastically beautiful property at one point. They've deferred some maintenance, let's say, but the food was good. The staff was friendly. The golf courses were in spring form, so not all the grass was back, but it was a good trip. But the golf was cold. It was very, very cold. How about you? Was it warmer where you were?
It's warming up. It's been in the 50s up into today. We were up actually in the Lake District, and it was 59 degrees and the sun was out, and
Ooh.
There were people in shorts and t-shirts eating ice cream. It was amazing. Yesterday I did go one travel story. Here's something I learned. I learned something else, but something I learned. Yesterday we were in the Lake District, and one of Lisa's relatives took me walking up the mountains, as they say. And it got a little colder because we were up in the clouds.
Oh,
again, these aren't that high. I mean, the top of this mountain is lower in elevation than where I live, right? So
okay.
But it's the difference from the bottom to the top. It's I did find out. I don't know. I did track my hike. I did find out yesterday that I don't know, because when you track workouts on your Apple Watch or whatever, it'll tell you how many flights of stairs you've climbed in a single day.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the limit is on Apple Watch, but I know it's not 208.
Wow. You got your steps in.
I got a lot of steps in. And 2,600 feet of elevation. So,
wow.
Which is up a peak, partly down a peak, up another peak, down a peak. So anyway, the other travel story that I have is from today, actually, and it's involving golf. We checked into a hotel here, and this is the nicest hotel that we are staying in on this trip. Lisa cashed in some points. It is a hotel and country club. There's a golf course here, similar to your.
Ooh.
It's actually very similar. It sounds like to your Four Seasons. Was it a Four Seasons you were at?
It was the Lodge of the Four Seasons. It was not a Four Seasons. There's big difference.
Was it a landscape business?
It was. No, because if it was, the golf course would have been in better shape.
So this is.
Oh, yes.
This hotel is it's an old English. It's quaint from the outside. Inside, it's a little dated, but it's fine, right? And so
It's
we use some
clean.
point. It's clean, right?
Right.
Service is great.
Right.
So we checked in, and we've been here before. We usually use points when we stay up here, and we stay at this, and it's a country club / golf course.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of golfers here. And when we went in, checked in, had to go back out to the car, came back in, and there was a number of men all decked out in full golf gear. And a couple of them were decked out in the ridiculously loud, the sweater vest, the loud pants, and everything else, which I thought, that must be an English thing. And then I saw everybody else on the golf course. No, somebody went out and bought the golfer costume. But this is actually my highest nomination for Idiot of the Week. I told Lisa about this. She's like, "You're worked up," and I'm like, "Yeah," because this is when they went to check in. They had all their golf stuff. They had already gotten their golf. One of the guys had gotten his golf clubs on a hand cart, right? The 2-wheel hand cart that you use on the course. He wheeled it through the building and parked it in the lobby of the hotel on the carpet to check in. The cart's from outside. I came in, I told Lisa, I'm like, "Who does that?" She's like, "You're kind of worked up." And her comment was, she's like, "You're kind of a hotel snob." And I'm like, "It's not a hotel snob. I suck at golf and I would never do that. You don't bring the carts from outside inside to the hotel lobby." Anyway, I can guarantee you he was one of the guys wearing the bright sweater who's playing golf for the weekend, not playing golf. Anyway, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, there's my travel story.
And an idiot story all in one.
Yes. Oh, by the way, one other one real quick. We drove past it. I've tried to get a picture of this multiple times and I just can't. We're driving the Lake District from one place to the other, and there's a farm and it's got some campers outside. And obviously you can go there to camp, and they have a sign on the road. And it just says hookups. And and what I think they need to do is they need to have the sign that says hookups, and then below it says, "We also have connections for your camper." Anyway, that's
Oh, so you're watching signage. What else are you watching?
Speaking of cars, so
Yeah.
last week I may have been a little harsh on British TV. I believe
No.
I believe I said it was crap. It was all total crap. I will say I have found one show that is on some weird network. Anyway, whatever. That, let's put it this way. I'm pretty sure that the network is owned by a dating app for people over 50, because those are the only ads on the entire network. I don't know, probably some sort of rule. Anyway.
Or they're
The
targeting
show-
you, but okay.
I don't think that's right. I mean, if you want that, you just go to the farm with the hookups. Anyway, so so it is a show about a family that runs at auction, they find old cars that are in great condition or not, and then they sell them at auction. And they sell, when I say this, like every month they sell like 300 to 400 cars. Like this is a big thing. And so they go out and sometimes they find them and they restore them, but a lot of times they just sell them on behalf of the owner. And they've been doing this for decades. So they find old cars and then they turn around and they sell them at auction. And the name of the show is Bangers and Cash.
Again, if you want your hookups, that's somewhere else.
Over here.
Yes.
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 Yeah, there's a joke about order of operations is important there, but never mind. I'm not going to go there. Anyway, so I every night I was like that every night it was like, Oh, what's this? It's kind of entertaining. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's not bad. Ooh, what time does Bangers and Cash come on? You got to make sure we're home in time for it. I mean, it's basically like a version of like HGTV kind of fare, but that tells you everything else is just like, I just want to watch the car auction show. I don't even care about the cars, but I found something to watch. So anyway, there you go. Bangers and Cash. Highly recommend if you can find it.
Have you been? Yes.
One other thing I will say, one of the things, if you've been on the internet, if you've ever seen anything for VPN services, people will tell you, oh, you buy a VPN service, then you can watch your video services overseas, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, here's what I'm going to tell you. Most of the video that may work on a computer, but your iPhone and your iPad know the location, so the VPN doesn't work. Here's what I found. Almost all services we pay for don't work over here at all on a VPN in any way, shape, or form. However, one service that does, because they own the rights everywhere, is Apple TV.
Oh,
Apple TV basically says, here's your catalog, download it, watch it, do whatever you want, because we have worldwide distribution on our shows. That's handy. And the other one, and I almost hate to bring this up, but I know our audience won't tell anybody, is I wanted to watch the Champions League matches, and they're on Paramount Plus. And I thought, well, I can't watch them here because I don't have Sky Sports and whatever. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I've tried every other service. You know what? Fine. I'll hook to the VPN and I'll try Paramount Plus. And what could possibly, hey, soccer, it works.
oh,
I think their technology is so far behind that the VPN trick actually works. So I can highly recommend Apple TV for their stuff and Paramount Plus for a different reason. But anyway, there you go.
have you been able to stay current on Rue?
No.
Oh,
We are totally behind. We haven't been able to see, well, so we haven't watched anything, and Lisa's in full media blackout so that she doesn't see anything. The only thing she saw was the announcement of the next All-Stars season starting on May 20th. So she did watch that.
all I'm going to say, your beef about send someone home already
Yes.
holds true. Oh my God. And I'll leave it at that.
Next time on season 5 of season 14.
Oh my word.
What
And
else are you watching?
I'm still working my way through Inventing Anna. So have you figured
out the accent yet?
Nope. It's so annoying. Oh my God. It's German, Russian, God knows what. It is so annoying. She is such a good actress. She's really good. I believe
Saturday Night Live did a skit on that accent alone.
Oh, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live, but it's definitely parody worthy because, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. So what'd you learn this week?
Okay. Sports related again, sorry, but last weekend after we recorded was one of the highlights of the sporting world here in the UK. It's the Grand National, which is a horse race.
Okay.
And the horses, in this case, the one that we watched, it's a horse race, but they have to jump over obstacles. So they're jumping over hedges. So they're running this big track, but they have 20 hedges to jump over. And I've never been a huge fan of horse racing. I mean, you watch the Kentucky Derby, it's a lot. I mean, considering it's over in a minute and 20 seconds or whatever, there's a lot of buildup or whatever. But this one, we happened to watch. And when horses jump over hedges while running very fast, the horses don't always land. They're all fine, by the way. They're all fine, although some of them did crash, go down. And when they go down, then the jockeys come off. Sometimes the horses land and the jockeys don't, which is fun. And In some cases, in the one we're watching, in one of the early hedges, the horse, I didn't see it. Anyway, the horse continued without the jockey
Oh,
early. And while the rest of the jockeys are urging their horses on, go, 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 this horse, when you're thinking, now that must suck for these horses. I mean, you're making them run. This horse ran the rest of the race with no jockey and won.
really?
Now, when I say win, the horse finished first. It actually was in first, and another horse passed it, and it picked up the pace and finished first. It did not win. Apparently, while they call it a horse race, it is not a horse race. You know what it is? It's a jockey race. Because if the horse finishes first without a jockey, and my thought is, that horse had to run the entire course by itself, had to jump over everything, had to come from behind off of just sheer, I want to win. And yet, does the horse win? No. So I'm going to promote what I learned is we need to stop calling this horse racing. It's jockey. It's jockey racing. They just happen to use horses. So anyway, I feel bad for the horse.
It's England, so I'm going to assume that there's wagering involved.
There may have been. Yes.
You may have wanted to hedge your bet.
Oh God. Oh geez. I should have saw that coming, and I didn't. And now I feel. I mean, I'm angry at myself. I'm much more angry at you. I am angry at myself, but no, most of it's directed towards you. All right. What did you learn this week?
So while I was on my golf trip, Amy had her office party, which I missed. And
why did you put that in air quotes?
Oh man. The good thing I get to edit this show, because otherwise I am going to be in trouble. It's an advertising agency. Her coworkers are very, very creative. There's always some kind of song or skit or entertainment of some sort that they put on. And this year's entertainment was a kind of a Jeopardy parody. And one of the categories was Flinny spouses. So okay. Flinnies are the people, I am actually using air quotes, Flinnies are the people that work at the agency. So it's Flinny spouses. And the answer or question was to fill in the blank.
So you're holding up the actual clue, which says yes. Not the blank letter OCK Johnson, not the, just give me one letter. I just need one letter.
One letter. One letter. Keep it clean.
Yes.
Not the jock. Accurate. Fair. No argument. Yep. Not the sock. I thought perhaps it was not the sock Johnson.
Along the same lines, not the mock Johnson.
No. Yes. I'm the authentic one. This is not a mock. This is not the mock Johnson. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Not the flock Johnson. There aren't a whole bunch of me. None of those were apparently the correct answer. Yes. So I learned, even in my absence, I got not the rocked. Yes. Really happy with that. Her coworkers are fantastic. They're great, great people. I was sad to miss the party, and I will not miss it again. It was good. The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to Talkin' to Todd wherever you get your pods. Search Talkin' and the number 2, no G, no space. You can tweet us on Facebook. You can check out our award-winning merch on Zazzle. You can leave us a voicemail at also CPA 515 also CPA. You can stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Please don't do that. Thanks as always to our listeners and our sponsors. And send us your feedback to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
Hey, Dwayne, how was golf? With wind chill, it was 29 degrees. We were wearing gloves. We had to put stocking hats on. We had to use the orange ball. It was absolutely miserable. So you had a terrible time? Oh, I missed the party. So no, it was good. That's what I heard from this episode.
You're an awful, awful friend. Oh.
We may not have stuff to clean up next week, but I know who does.
Hear us next week. Oh, Lord. Thanks, man.
Oh, yes.
Sweet Lord.